This is not hard. This is not an issue. And the fact that this has gone on. I mean, again, the history of these grooming gangs in the UK goes back to 1997. There have been multiple reports in the last, checks notes, 28 years of this. The thread finishes with his investigation. Um, and it says here that the years long investigation shocked me to my core, not just at the scale of abuse or the way it had been covered up, but at the fact it was still going on. After all these years, what the victims were telling me was that the abuse hadn't ended. In some cases, it was actually getting worse, and in many cases, their rapists had been freed from jail after a few years. Imagine that, seeing your rapist walking the same streets as you. And some of them were organized. In some of the places I was followed, the streets were hostile. I'll never forget my first days of investigating and filming in parts of Telford, Rockdale, and Glodwick near Oldham, and it was generally a hostile environment. My small team stood out wherever we went. We were not welcome. We were often speeding out of some places after quickly filming what we needed. Our questions and our presence was not welcome. When we finally broadcast Grooming Gangs, Britain's Shame, I was relieved. It was a big project, and soon after, then Home Secretary Swella Braverman announced a new task force to tackle grooming gangs, our key policy demand in the documentary story. It made hundreds of arrests in its first year, but the battle wasn't over yet. I knew there were far more victims out there whose tales needed to be told. I knew there were far too many rapists released on our streets,